Hi everyone, welcome back to DevOps Dock. Today we are going to learn how to make a website live and secure the internet using AWS. We'll launch a server like EC2 server and we'll install a basic web server like Nginx, and we'll make that accessible through a domain name. So my domain registrar will be, if you have any different domain in different domain register, then you can follow the video. You can use the Route 53 either, but this video mainly focus on if you have different domain register, then how you will follow the TLS method. So the important part of this video is we are going to secure the site using TLS. So this is what gives you that little padlock in the browser so that your website will be secure, and it encrypts the connection so that no one can snoop on your data while it's being sent back and forth. To do this thing, we'll connect our site to the domain name which we have in Hostinger. For the TLS certificate, we'll be using AWS Certificate Manager. Then we'll link all together using Route 53 and load balancer and all. So here you can see here we have the web server. Then we'll be creating an application load balancer, and for the TLS termination we'll be using certificate manager. Then we'll be using Route 53 for the public hosted zone, and here is our domain register. So my domain is devopsdock.site, which I have in hostinger.com. So to understand the concept and to implement the stuffs, so we'll be creating these things which I have just now discussed, and we'll be implementing these 12 steps. So in this 12th step, we'll be implementing all those things, and at last we'll be accessing our web server with the TLS certificate. So the first step will be create an EC2 instance, install Nginx web server. So let me go to my AWS console. I have logged into my AWS account. I'll just go and create one EC2 instance. I'll take a free tier. It's just for a demo purpose, so that's why I'm just doing proceed without a key pair. I'll allow HTTPS and HTTP both and launch the instance. Wait for the instance to be initialized properly. Connect from here itself. So now we'll install the Nginx server. So first we need to update it. Yeah, install the Nginx web server. Yeah, done. As the Nginx service is up, just copy the public IP and verify. Yeah, you can see are able to see the welcome page. Then what was the second step? Create one load balancer, create listener, and add EC2 instance in the target group. We'll go to load balancer. Create one. I'll take this application load balancer. Nginx ILB. Make sure your load balancer scheme is internet facing. Choose at least 2 availability zones. The security group is fine. And here is the listener. So for now I'll go with HTTP listener. Later on we'll add it. And here you have to create a target group. I'll open this one in a new tab. Our target type is instances. Nginx instance. Protocol type is HTTP. That's fine. Yeah. Then click on next. Select this one. Include as pending below. Then create the target group. Come back to our load balancer. Refresh this one. Choose Nginx instance which we just now created. Then create load balancer. Let's wait for some time as it's still in provisioning state. After some time, the status became active. So to verify whether the traffic is routed to our instance or not, just copy the DNS name and paste it in your browser. Make sure you are routing HTTP. Yes, the traffic is routing to the EC2 instance. So now the third step is create a public hosted zone in Route 53. Let's go to create a public hosted zone. Go to Route 53 service. Go to hosted zone. So this hosted zone is kind of a container where you manage your DNS settings and all. So to create a hosted zone, we'll need a domain name. So as I discussed at the starting of the video, I have a domain inside Hostinger. I'll go to Hostinger and show you. Here I have a domain called DevOps Dock.site. So I'll create a hosted zone with this name. Copy this one. Then create the hosted zone. So by default you will get one NS record and SOA record. So this way the third step is done. Now we'll go to the fourth step. Go to your domain registrar. Copy the name server from Route 53 to Hostinger. I'll go to Route 53. So here is my domain registrar, Hostinger. I'll go to Route 53. These are the NS records. We need to copy this one from Route 53 to our domain registrar. So why we will do that? What is the reason? I'll just explain you simply. So you will know what is going under the hood. So if you have some basic knowledge of how DNS works, then you probably get the idea. But here is the thing which I'll explain you. So when you request a site on internet, so first of all your local OS or your identity, I mean your internet service provider, they have the recursive resolver. That means the local DNS. Your OS will check if there is any cache in your system. Like if you previously visited one website, then the IP might be stored as a cache, or the internet service provider will have the cache. So the DNS means like you are getting the IP from the domain name. If you will have it, then you will get your website. If you don't have it, then your local OS will carry forward to the root level domain. That means it will say, where can I find .site domain? Then your root level will transfer that to top level domain, and inside your top level domain you will have multiple name server records. I mean the top level domain will transfer transfer the request to the authoritative server. This server is the final source of truth. So for now, my authoritative server is Hostinger, because if I go to my domain, sorry, I'll go to manage, then DNS and name server. If you see, this is the name server which has configured by default in Hostinger, and our Route 53, it has name server these four. That means when the request come to this name server, it will say my authoritative server is Route 53 and which has this domain. So we need to tell Hostinger, if the request come to DevOps Dock.site, then you don't handle it, you carry forward to Route 53. Why we are doing so? Because our ACM that will not integrate with outside registrars. It made for AWS only. So you will able to create the certificate, but you will feel difficulty in integrating the things. Okay, so that is the reason we are transferring our authoritative server from Hostinger to Route 53 by copying the name server records. Then after your authoritative server, like after the TLD returns some NS records and the NS records belongs to the authoritative server, then the authoritative server will return the IP of the domain. Then your browser get the IP, then will get to see the website. So this is what when you search something happens inside the system, I mean under the hood, these all things are happened. Okay, before going to that point, if you see the IP of this website is this one, and how will verify that? I'll go to my EC2 instance and I'll type host. You can type host or nslookup, whatever networking command you know, you can type that actually. Okay, so I'll just type host DevOps Dock.site and it returns me this IP. If I type the same domain in my browser, you will see some Hostinger page. If you haven't routed your domain explicitly, then you will be seeing some this kind of random pages. This way you can check your IP for your domain. Okay, when you type this one, then it goes through these many processes. Once it cached, then it will redirect from here itself. So I hope you got the idea how the things are working. And there is one another tool which is a DNS propagation tool, that is dnschecker.org. You can see here as well. If I type the name and search, you will see the IP here. I mean, these many areas you have the DNS propagated properly, and that means available. Okay, so now we'll copy one by one the NS record from our Route 53 to Hostinger. And one more thing, when you change your name server, then whatever name server you have chosen, your DNS records will transfer to the particular authoritative server which the name server belongs to. That means if I change to Route 53 NS records, then these things will be get blocked, because we are saying you are not the owner is Route 53. So I will not be able to change the DNS setting here. Whatever DNS setting I'll be making or I'll be creating or updating, that I'll be doing in Route 53, because we are changing the authoritative server through the NS record. Now do one by one. Remove the dot. Yeah, I have 4 name servers pasted here. Then click on save. Once you change your name server, it will take 24 hours for the domain to propagate properly. So just keep on checking. It will take hardly 1 to 2 hours, but the maximum time is 24 hours. Just keep on checking. Within 1 hour it will get propagated. I have done this previously. I have noticed within 1 hour, 1 to 2 hour, it will get propagate properly. I mean all over the world. See, as I said earlier, the DNS record, once you change the name server, the DNS record you can't manage it from here. Like whatever the changes you will make, that you have to do it in Route 50. Whether your DNS has propagated or not, you'll go to DNS checker, or you can simply do host here. It is still showing the previous one because it will take time. I'll go here and search here as well. See, the propagation has started. That's why few of them are marked as crossed, because it will take some time to propagate. So let's wait for some time. I'll get back when the record has fully propagated.
A few moments later.
So it's been 20 minutes, and as you can see, a lot of them has crossed, like has cross sign. That means they have like they are in stage of propagating, and few of them are still pending. And if I go to the website which we able to access, now we are not able to access because the propagation is pending. So in the meantime, what we can do is uh, we can go to Route 53 and point this site to our load balancer. So whenever we'll hit this one, then we'll see this welcome page, right? So to create a record, just click on create record. Keep the subdomain empty, switch on alias, then choose the endpoint as application and classic load balancer, choose the region as Mumbai, then choose the load balancer, then create record. So once you have done this one, then now we are pointing this DevOps Dock site to our load balancer. So instead of this IP and instead of this cross, after some time we'll be seeing the load balancer's IP. How will you know what is the load balancer's IP? I'll show you. Go to your load balancer, copy your DNS name, and go to your EC2. Then type ns lookup. So it's a networking command. Then paste, hit enter. So these are two load balancers IP. Instead of seeing this one, we'll be seeing the load balancers IP over here. Then only we'll get to know, okay, this side is pointing to the load balancer, and we'll refresh this one and we'll be seeing nginx welcome page. Then only we'll get to know the site has propagated properly. All right, so we'll be waiting for some more time to get it done.
2,000 years later.
So after some time, you can see all the propagation has done for this site. Yeah, you can see these all are done. And if you go and check, so these all should be pointing to our load balancer. So we saw that using ns lookup we can get the IP addresses of our load balancer. If I copy this one and go here and find that IP, you can see all these are IP of the load balancer. and we had created one record for our domain to router to load balancer. And if we go and type DevOps Dock.site again, yeah, you can see this is pointing to our load balancer, and our load balancer is pointing to our web server, which is a EC2 instance. So yeah, this routing part is done. Now is the TLS part. You can see this is not secure. So the main idea was to install the TLS certificate, and we will be seeing one lock icon over here, so that this side has a TLS certificate. To get the TLS certificate, we will be using AWS Certificate Manager. So once propagated, go to ACM and request a public certificate for our website. Go to ACM, go to request public certificate, then next, then give a DNS name over here and add another name to the certificate. If you want to add some subdomain, then you can, if you want to provide the TLS certificate to the subdomain as well, so you can provide that here. Just hit wildcard, then .devops doc.site. It will provide one level of subdomain TLS certificate. Okay, and I'll be choosing DNS validation, then request. Just click on view certificate. What is the next step? The next step is add the record to Route 53. So here is the record for the certificate. Just click on create record to Route 53. Then create records. Now if you go to Route 53 and if we refresh, then yeah, you will get to see one new record, one new CNAME record. Okay. Now if we go here and refresh this one, this certificate should be issued, because the DNS validation has completed. We had created this one and it binded to the CNAME record. That way the DNS validation has succeeded. So if we refresh this page, then we will be seeing the certificate has been issued for both DevOps Dock.site and the subdomain level as well. Okay. Yeah, it has been issued. So what is the next step? Go to load balancer, create one more listener, or edit the previous listener to HTTPS. We'll create a new listener in the load balancer. Just go to load balancer, add listener. So in this way, we are telling our load balancer that we have a TLS certificate and we are installing in the load balancer level. So the TLS termination will happen at the load balancer level. If you don't know what is TLS termination, so TLS termination is basically whatever TLS traffic will comes in, that means it will decrypt the TLS at that load balancer level and it will carry forward the TCP traffic to the server. When you add a new listener, just click on, as we already have HTTP, now we want HTTPS for the TLS. Just click on HTTPS, then target group, choose the target group which we had created earlier. Then from ACM, here you have to choose the certificate which you have created. From ACM, then DevOps Dock.site. Now add, and make sure in your load balancer you have this HTTPS and HTTP port enabled. Go to security, click on security group ID. Yeah, we already have HTTP and HTTPS configured in the security group. Now if we go to DevOps Dock.site and if we add HTTPS, yeah, you can see the connection is secured now. Now if I disable this one, let's say I'll delete the listener. And I'll refresh this one. Do you think it will able to make the connection secure? Let me, I think this has been cached, so that's why it's when I'm refreshing. Okay, it is taking some time. See, it is not happening. It is not happening, you can see, because we have deleted that HTTPS, and the connection between your ACM certificate and your web server, the TLS connection has been deleted. That's why when we are trying to access the site from HTTPS, we are not able to do so. If I remove S, then we can access it. So let's add it again. I'll just quickly add it. Yes. Yeah, we can see now the connection secure and we have the TLS certificate configured. If you see the certificate, you can see the same certificate which we have created, and the organization is Amazon. And now if you want to add some subdomain, let's say you have one another application and you want to add that in your domain as well, so you'll go to Route 53. Let's say I want one another site. I'll just referring to this same site only, but let's say you have one another site and you want to add that. Then let's say give the name as nginx dot site, and give the C name is the load balancers DNS. This one DNS name. View the status and wait for the status to be updated as in sync. So as we already had that wildcard set in the certificate, so this subdomain has also the TLS. So if we use HTTPS with this one, then we will be able to access it, as we already have the record created. Yeah, now you can see we can access the subdomains as well, and that's to TLS enabled. Let's go back to our implementation documentation. Then yeah, we have created ANM record with Route 53 for our application. That also we already have done. Access it in the browser HTTPS. Your website should have the SSL and TLS certificate. So yeah, we also did that as well. So with that being said, this whole tutorial has been completed. We have implemented this all thing like Hostinger to Route 53 to ACM to application load balancer, and finally the traffic is reached to our web server. So this way you can practice and how you can integrate your different domain registrar to Route 53, and you can include TLS certificate. If you have any questions, or if you are facing some difficulties, please comment down below. I'll definitely help you out. And if you learn something today, then make sure you subscribe and like the video. It motivates me to create such content. And if you have any suggestion, please comment down below that as well. I'll make the video on it. So for today, that's all. Thank you guys. Thank you for staying till the end. Bye bye.